Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Daggerheart, and we're going to talk about how we play our player characters in Daggerheart if we are doing what Daggerheart was built to do, which is transform us, help us to understand ourselves, and once we understand ourselves, go out and fix ourselves, fix the problems, combat the deficiencies within ourselves, and then to once we understand ourselves, to fix society, to fix the we fix ourselves with Daggerheart, and we fix society with Daggerheart. That's why we come to it. We don't use it for fun. We use it for what it is, a narrative identity tool, a narrative / identity tool to help ourselves understand ourselves, fix ourselves, and then go out and understand and fix society itself. So how do we do this? Well, one of the things is we are investing ourselves. We are pouring ourselves into our player character. And then once we have 3, 30, 100 of these player characters, we take the parts that are best from those player characters, those established identities, and we pour them back into ourselves. It's incredibly, it's a deep process. It's fundamentally new. It's fresh, right? And it comes from what Gary built on, what Gary Gygax delivered to the world on February 7th, 1974, and how it changed forever how humanity interacts with narrative and identity. So how do we play our player characters? So there's different processes, right? So for a long time, over the last 100 years, there have been a major push toward method acting, right? Jared Leto is a method actor. Christian Bale is a method actor. And recently I saw two interviews that there's a change happening in method acting and how people consider method acting and how they process method acting. So let's talk about that, okay? So recently I saw an interview, and it was just a quick one, literally a short. So it was like between 1 and 3 minutes long. And this lady's like, oh, hey, Tom Hardy, so the guy who played Bane, and he was just on, he's been in a ton of things. He's in a lot of Christopher Nolan movies. Brilliant actor, right? So this interviewer says, so you are a method actor, and says this to set up the rest of their story, right? And to the rest of their question. And he says, no, I'm not. She's like, what? And he goes, yeah, I know. Basically, we're doing a light interview here, 5-10 minutes, but I could talk for an hour and a half about method acting, how it's misunderstood, and how I'm actually not a method actor, right? And it was really fascinating because I think there's a major trend against method acting right now. And the reason why is it's become crystal clear that it's wrong. It's not needed, right? And so Tom Hardy continued, he said, it's not important to believe, right? It's not important to inhabit. What's important is to be convincing, right? You have to take the role, and you have to convince others that you are that thing. And it does not matter if you believe you are that thing. It doesn't matter. And then that ended it, right? They cut it right there. But William H. Macy went into this even further, and he said same thing. He said, like, when you come to a role, right, and you create that art and you put it in front of the world, everyone who sat in those seats, they are rooting for you. They want to believe. So if you're like the king in a Shakespeare play that's being filmed, put on the robe, put on the crown, and you just need to be convincing. You don't have to believe you're the king. You don't have to inhabit that person. You simply need to convince others, and they are already predisposed to believe, right? And I thought this was profoundly important, right? And the reason why is we don't need to method act anymore at the Daggerheart table. We can play things that are shockingly different than ourselves, but we do need to be convincing. We need to be convincing to ourselves, to everyone else at the table, and to the game master that we are that thing, that we are, a ridgeborn goblin sorcerer, right? That, yeah. And actually, I would say Ribbit, a Ridgeborn Ribbit sorcerer, right? We have to be convincing. We don't have to believe it. This is a major change. I've been noticing like a lot of people are turning away from method acting. It's no longer considered cool. And I think we need to be aware of this as we are portraying important characters. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.